If you have no use for Shedeur, play him, increases draft stock, increases trade value, and then make the trade. The Baltimore Ravens already want Shedeur. By the end of the trade deadline, they might trade for Shedeur knowing, hey, we're not going to play Lamar Jackson the rest of the season. We're eliminated from the playoffs. Cooper Rush, he's not our future. Snoop Huntley's been here for 4 years, and he's cool, but we know his ceiling. And more than anything, the Ravens know how to manage a personality like Shedeur. They're not scared of those personalities.
Yeah.
They got Lamar Jackson. They had Ray Lewis. They had Terrell Suggs. They had Ed Reed. Like, the Ravens aren't intimidated by guys with big personalities, by guys with aura, by guys with flash. So if you have no use for Shedeur, play him, increases draft stock, increases trade value, and then make the trade.
It is time for the Jets to acquire Shedeur Sanders from the Cleveland Browns. And someone tell me why that's a bad idea. And I don't want to hear about it's a circus. It's a circus? What's this? What the hell is this that we're watching? Circus! That's a circus. Bad, crappy football is a circus. The Jets should have drafted this guy, I don't know, second, third, fourth. They got a million opportunities to draft him. He has not gotten an opportunity in Cleveland. I don't really care about the Cleveland Browns, so I'm not going to fight their battles. I'll let Josina Anderson take care of that. All I'm saying is I see a talent, a guy I think we all talked about him as a guy that could at least be a serviceable starting quarterback in the NFL. They are not giving him a chance in Cleveland. If I'm Darren Muji, I call up my my contemporaries in Cleveland, and I say, here's a fifth-round pick back. Here's your fifth back. Let's get Shedeur in here, and let's see what the kid has got, because why not?
If he comes to the Jets, amidst all of this and all the issues that are going on already, and he's just the brash guy that he was, how does that make it any better?
What if he's good?
It doesn't matter if he's good.
It doesn't matter if he's good?
Well,
you can't believe that, Zeke. Of course it matters if he's good.
The only thing that will matter is if he wins.
Well,
it works if he wins.
Okay, hand in hand. What if he's good and a game like yesterday that they would have won with competent quarterback play, they win?
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying it's very risky.
Here's what I disagree about with the risk. They're on a watchable mess right now with a lottery ticket that isn't working.
The storm clouds are gathering over Cleveland once again. And this time, it's not about Deshaun Watson's health, Joe Flacco's farewell, or another offensive coordinator biting the dust. It's about Shedeur Sanders, the most polarizing backup quarterback in the NFL. The name that moves headlines faster than the Browns move the chains. The Browns front office may have hoped for stability when they handed the keys to Dillon Gabriel, but what they got instead is controversy, noise, and the growing realization that Shedeur might not belong on their bench at all. With the trade deadline creeping closer, whispers are growing louder. Cleveland could move Shedeur Sanders, and the teams lining up for his services may change the entire trajectory of the league. When the Browns selected Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, it was supposed to be a low-risk, high-upside pick, a flyer on a player with star potential, but one who could learn quietly behind veterans. Instead, they ignited a media circus that no one in Cleveland seems equipped to handle. The 4QB experiment, with Watson, Gabriel, Flacco, Pickett, and Sanders all crowding the depth chart at one point, has officially collapsed. Flacco is gone, traded to Cincinnati. Pickett has been shipped to Las Vegas. Now Gabriel is the starter, and Sanders is QB2 by default. But let's not fool ourselves. By default doesn't mean by design. Every camera in Cleveland practices seems fixated on one man, Shedeur. Every mistake Gabriel makes, every interception Watson throws in rehab drills, sparks the same question from fans and analysts alike. Why isn't Shedeur getting his shot? The Browns claim they're focused on Gabriel's development. Yet insiders are hinting that a trade might be the only way to silence the noise and finally give Sanders a fair chance to show what he's made of. And if that's true, half the league should be on alert, because Shedeur Sanders is the kind of quarterback who could turn a desperate team into a headline-grabbing resurrection story. Let's start in Charlotte, where patience is wearing thin. Bryce Young has shown flashes of brilliance, a quick release here, a poised scramble there. But through 3 seasons, the Panthers' franchise savior still hasn't delivered on his number. One overall promise. The offense sputters, the fans grumble, and the NFC South continues to look like a one-horse race. Enter Shedeur Sanders. Carolina might not see him as their quarterback of the future, but he could absolutely be their quarterback of the right now. a short-term solution with long-term potential. Shedeur's calm pocket presence, sharp reads, and ability to command an offense were on full display at Colorado. And his poise under pressure could be exactly what Carolina needs to inject life into an offense that's been stuck in neutral. And let's be honest, the lights in Charlotte aren't as blinding as the ones in Cleveland. A quieter market could give Shedeur the breathing room he needs to grow, away from the constant shadow of his father's Hall of Fame legacy and the NFL media frenzy. The New Orleans Saints have always loved a good redemption arc. Once upon a time, it was Drew Brees proving the Chargers wrong. Now, it might be Shedeur Sanders proving Cleveland wrong. Spencer Rattler has shown flashes this season, but the Saints' record doesn't lie. They're rebuilding, and whether they admit it or not, they need a long-term plan under center. Shedeur's skill set could mesh beautifully with Kellen Moore's offense. Moore's system thrives on quick, efficient decision-making, rhythm passing, and controlled tempo, all strengths Shedeur displayed in college. He may not have Rattler's gunslinger arm, but he brings something more valuable: discipline and command. The kind of quarterback who doesn't lose you games, who builds confidence in the locker room, and who can manage chaos when everything else is crumbling. With Moore calling plays and a promising young core around him, New Orleans could be the perfect environment for Shedeur to take his next leap, a franchise that knows how to nurture overlooked talent. A year ago, Miami was the envy of the NFL. Tyreek Hill was breaking records, Tua was an MVP candidate, and Mike McDaniel was hailed as an offensive genius. Now, it's all gone sideways. Tua's limitations have become glaring. Hill is injured and likely on his way out. The Dolphins are a shell of the team that terrified defenses last season. So what's next? They could double down on Tua. They could roll the dice on Quinn Ewers. Or they could bring in a fresh, fearless voice like Shedeur Sanders, who's no stranger to pressure, adversity, or media attention. McDaniel's offense is built for timing, rhythm, and precision. Three things Shedeur excelled at under his father, Coach Prime in Colorado. And let's not overlook the chemistry potential with Jalen Waddle, a player tailor-made for Shedeur's quick-strike passing style. Imagine it, Shedeur in South Beach, running an offense designed for creativity and speed, resurrecting McDaniel's vision while giving Miami a glimpse of the future. That's not just a trade. That's a storyline made for television. When the Raiders brought in Pete Carroll and made Tom Brady a minority owner, they wanted culture, leadership, and stability. What they got instead is chaos. Geno Smith has thrown 9 interceptions in 5 games. Brock Bowers is injured. The offensive line couldn't protect a folding chair. It's time for Las Vegas to admit what everyone else already knows. This team isn't going anywhere fast. That's where Shedeur Sanders could come in, and the irony would be delicious. Remember, Tom Brady has known Deion Sanders for years. The two share mutual respect, and Brady has often praised Shedeur's poise and maturity. That relationship could quietly open the door for a blockbuster trade to the desert. Behind that struggling line, Shedeur would take hits, no doubt. But he took more at Colorado and still put up huge numbers. The Raiders could give him something he hasn't had in Cleveland: full control of an offense with no leash and no confusion about his role. And for Brady, it would be poetic, mentoring the son of one of football's most iconic figures. If there's one franchise that embodies chaos, frustration, and wasted potential, it's the New York Jets. They just dropped to 0-6 after another humiliating loss in London, a game where Justin Fields managed to produce negative passing yards. That's not a typo. Negative. Fields is broken, Tyrod Taylor is temporary, and the locker room morale is crumbling. But for Shedeur Sanders, this could be the opportunity. A big market, a desperate team, a legendary father watching from the stands. The Jets have weapons, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and a fan base starving for a hero. Shedeur could walk into that chaos and turn it into legacy. Sure, it's the NFL's toughest media environment, but if there's one young quarterback built for that pressure, it's the son of primetime. He's been in front of cameras since birth. He's been doubted, picked apart, and compared to greatness every step of the way. New York would eat most rookies alive, but Shedeur? He might just eat them alive instead. And imagine the storyline. Shedeur Sanders saves the New York Jets. That's not just back page news, that's history. At this point, the writing's on the wall. The Browns don't want a quarterback controversy, and Shedeur Sanders doesn't want to rot on the bench. The longer they hold on to him, the louder the noise gets. Every camera at practice, every press question about the backup quarterback, every viral clip on social media chips away at the Browns' supposed commitment to Gabriel. Cleveland can't afford that distraction. Meanwhile, Shedeur's talent, his precision, leadership, and pocket IQ deserves a chance to breathe, a chance to belong somewhere. And maybe that's not in Cleveland. Maybe it's in Carolina, or New Orleans, or Miami. Maybe it's in Las Vegas under Tom Brady's mentorship. Or maybe, just maybe, it's in New York, where legends are born and legacies are written in pressure and pain. Whatever happens, one thing's clear. Shedeur Sanders isn't built to be anyone's backup story. He's built to be the headline. If Cleveland trades him, the question won't be, why now? It'll be, why didn't they do it sooner? Because wherever Shedeur lands next, the NFL better be ready. The kid who grew up under the brightest lights might soon get his own, and this time, no one will be able to look away.